And hello everybody, welcome back to episode number 202 of the CheckX series. If you're new here, as I say every single day, the CheckX series is pretty much all about me, your host. I've been discussing absolutely everything Leon talked about yesterday on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the day before. Today we're going to discuss what he talked about yesterday on Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. He posted just about 69 times yesterday, and we're going to get right into the episode here, not to waste you guys' time. Starting off as we usually do with Neuralink and brain-computer interfaces. Or, sorry, not as we usually do, but starting off this segment, Elon highlighted a major breakthrough where electrode threads are inserted straight through the dura, which is the brain's protective membrane, just to clarify, into the cortex, keeping the membrane completely intact, and this is also expected to greatly improve the safety and ease of brain surgery. Also, last but not least, a mention was made regarding Neuralink potentially attempting brain-to-brain telepathy later this year. Very cool. Moving on to SpaceX and Starlink. Starting off the segment, SpaceX completed its 60th dedicated Starlink launch of 2026, placing nearly 1,600 satellites into orbit in less than 6 months. Also, Elon shared that SpaceX's expansion in Memphis is projected to generate over $100 million in local tax revenue, employs nearly 3,000 people, and has spent $10 million with local food vendors. Also, following SpaceX's acquisition of XAI, a 50% discount on monthly Starlink service and no upfront hardware costs were announced for residents in the Memphis region. Very cool. And last but not least, the Philippines became the first Southeast Asian country to launch Starlink direct-to-cell service. Additionally, free Starlink service was provided in Venezuela to assist in recovery efforts following deadly earthquakes. Very bad. I watched those videos. It was tragic. Moving on to Tesla and autonomous vehicles. Starting off this segment, this version, talking about version 14 Lite, FSD 14 Lite, which is the lighter version for Hardware 3 vehicles. This is rolling out to AI 3 or Hardware 3. Early access customers, bringing advanced driving behaviors and parking capabilities to older Tesla models. Also, Elon highlighted the Cybercab, which operates without a steering wheel or pedals, currently driving around Austin, Texas. Elon also believes autonomous vehicles will save millions of lives and represents an iPhone moment for the industry. And last but not least, Elon reposted comments acknowledging that while Chinese EV makers are a 700-pound gorilla, the Tesla Model Y remains a top seller in China. Moving on to XAI and artificial intelligence. Starting off this segment, Elon stated that truly massive gains for Grok will occur in approximately 3 months once the entire stack is rewritten in C or C++ code. Also, XAI added a Grok build page and launched hosted MCP servers to allow AI tools to connect directly to the X platform. Also, Elon reposted news about Cursor for iOS, which uses cloud agents for mobile coding, and a model called Rampart designed to protect user privacy. And last but not least, Elon also shared a report regarding the alleged theft of Claude's intelligence by fake accounts linked to Alibaba. Okay, moving on to USAID or USAID and international aid controversy. Starting out this segment, Elon argued that cutting USAID funding or USAID funding did not lead to mass deaths in Africa, and in some cases coincided with a decrease in mortality rates. Also, Elon claimed USAID was used to push violent leftist regime change, fund communism, and influence foreign elections rather than effectively aiding the hungry. And last but not least, Elon engaged in a heated exchange with a journalist which goes by the name of Nicholas Kristof, calling him a liar for claiming aid cuts caused specific deaths in Liberia and Sierra Leone. Moving on to U.S. politics and culture to wrap up the episode here, Elon accused Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez of lying about him gutting Medicare and Social Security, noting he has no legislative authority to do so in the first place. Also, Elon responded and reposted criticism of Mackenzie Scott for donating $1 billion to organizations focused on gender identity and puberty blockers for children. Also, how is that legal? Also, Elon expressed concerns that mail-in ballots accepted after Election Day increase the potential for voter fraud. Also, Elon reposted extensively about the dangers of communism, its presence in U.S. schools, and the history of communist regimes. And to wrap up the episode here, Elon agreed with the sentiment that declining fertility is linked to women prioritizing college and corporate careers. Also, Elon reposted a Lego study regarding the differences in how boys and girls play with toys. And ladies and gentlemen, this pretty much wraps up episode number 202 of the CheckX series. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you for watching, or I recommend dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. I also recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX episodes just to get a nice little sequence of events going for you based on what Elon says every single day, because at the end of the day, this is the CheckX series. I'm your host, Ivan, and I will see you later.